Hi friends, Ryan here with Ryan's Candles and Crafts, and welcome to the next chapter of Mojo's story. Last time, Mojo left Jojo behind after their journey with the Sunrise Brew. With his feathers bright and his confidence louder still, he set out on a long road toward Pelican Beach City. Along the way, he practiced, dreamed of gold, and the national stage. He tried to outrun the shadow of his family's disapproval. At the close of the day, he found rest in a quiet shade of forest, unaware that the path ahead may lead more than practice and ambition could anticipate. Before we continue, don't forget to make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell to get notified on when we upload videos. This will help ensure that you know when the next chapter of Mojo's story is ready to go. If you'd like to show some support for the channel, there's a couple links down below. You can click on our Patreon page and check out the offers there we have. There's also a link to a Diamond Art Club affiliate link for first-time purchasers. So if you've never purchased from Diamond Art Club before but you want to, go ahead and click on that link and help support the channel. Or you can also give a tip through PayPal. Thank you all so very much for your continued support. Now let's get started. Chapter 2. The Chase in the Dark. Mojo woke slowly, the forest light dim around him. He blinked against the green shadows until the shape of trees sharpened. When he closed his eyes earlier, the sun had been gold and warm, painting everything in brightness. But now, the world had changed. The canopy above thickened into a roof of branches, and the light that filtered through was muted and cool. He stretched long, wings unfurling until his joints gave satisfying pops. His claws scraped the dirt, back aching, feathers shaking themselves into place. He yawned, a sound that echoed small in the stillness, and when his stomach growled, he dug into his satchel. A scrap of bread, a handful of nuts. Hardly a feast, but it would do. He chewed slowly, savoring the crust and crunching on the nuts that grounded him. When he was finished, he brushed the crumbs from his chest and stepped back onto the path. The forest greeted him with a chill. The air, once warm and open, had dropped into a low hush. His feathers prickled with the change, his body adjusting to the damp coolness. He hadn't expected it to feel like this, so shadowed. The trees leaned inward, their branches woven together like hands clasped against the sky. The strip of blue above was narrowing, fading. Mojo walked. The ground was softer here, the dirt damp, muffling his steps. Still, his claws against the earth seemed loud, too loud. Every small sound carried, the snap of a twig far off, the whisper of leaves shifting overhead. His heart wanted to answer every noise. But worse than what he heard was what he felt. There was a prickling sense that he wasn't walking alone. He slowed, head tilted, listening. A beat of silence stretched out, only his own breath filling it. Then nothing. No movement, no voice, no proof. But the feeling clung, an itch under his feathers. He tried to shake it off, tried to fool himself back into something familiar. 5, 6, he whispered. 7, 8. He stepped into practice, carving a short phrase into the air. Right step, left, wings up, feathers out. He sank low, then snapped tall, the movement clean even without music. He spun once on his claw, wings slicing the air. The rhythm steadied him, made his silence less sharp. He landed, chest rising with breath, and let out a small laugh. "Huh, see? Nothing." Then it came, the scent. It was faint at first, riding the edges of the air, but then it hit him full on. Wet dog, thick and sour. He froze, nostrils flaring, and caught more. Smoke curling under it, a sharp metallic tang like iron. His stomach twisted. He knew this smell. He and Jojo just ran into this beast not just a few days earlier in the hollow. But now, Mojo had to remember what happened and how him and Jojo got through it. What was he to do again? What did him and Jojo do? He was only half paying attention. His feathers stood on end, his throat tightened. A rustle behind him. He spun around, eyes yellow, low, fixed on him through the brush. The shape around them shifted, Broad and lean, breath steaming in the cool air, the coyote, Mojo, struck with fear, did the only thing he knew to do in the time of crisis. Before he knew it, his body bolted before his mind gave it a second thought, and ran. Branches whipped at his wings, roots snagged his claws, but he tore forward, heart pounding so hard that he thought it might burst through his chest. His breath came sharp and ragged. Every few strides he risked a glance back, and every time the sight was the same, the coyote's long frame weaving after him, silent but closing in, its eyes burning in the shadows. Mojo's panic clawed at him. He tried to think, tried to recall Jojo's words, some piece of advice that would save him, but all that filled his head were the sounds of his own breath, the crunch of his steps, the thunder of pursuit. His wings stayed tight against his sides. There was no room to fly, not under these trees. The forest became a blur of trunks and dark green. His muscles burned. His claws scraped at rocks and slipped on moss. He ducked one branch, then another, stumbled, recovered, and kept running. The coyote was faster. He could hear it now, the thud of paws, the low growl riding in his breath, close, too close. His chest ached with every inhale. His legs screamed at him to stop, but he couldn't. The path narrowed, shadows deepened, his vision blurred. He thought wildly of his family, of how they would shake their heads if this is how it ended. Not on a stage, not in glory, but in a forest, nameless, unfinished. The coyote leapt. Mojo cried out, feathers flaring, and the strike never landed. Instead, the beast jerked sideways, skull snapping as the rock cracked against it. It snarled, confused, staggering across the dirt. Mojo skidded to a halt, claws digging furrows into the ground. He stared, chest heaving, his mind catching up in a rush. Where had that come from? Another stone whistled through the air. It struck with a heavy thud against the coyote's jaw. The beast reeled, snapping at the empty air in rage. Then, a voice, sharp and bright. "Charge!" A flash of yellow burst into view. A small bird hurtled forward, feathers glowing like captured sunlight, 3 orange plumes jutting up from his head and his crown. Huge round glasses clung to his face, magnifying wide, delighted eyes. He vaulted high, twisted once, and landed squarely on the coyote's skull, balancing on one claw as though it were nothing more than a fence post. The coyote bucked, snarled, then crashed against the trees. The bird bent with the movement, wings spread wide, laughing breathlessly. "Easy footing, tricky surface, but balance is balance. Oh yes it is." Mojo blinked, barely believing what he was seeing. The coyote snapped upward, jaws snapping inches from the bird. The bird leapt up, flipped in midair, and landed neatly on the beast's snout. Coyote shook, snarled, and tried to catch him in its teeth. The bird leapt again, this time showing off a bit. 2 flips midway through the leap, then back down and right on top of the coyote's head. The bird turned upside down, eye to eye, and winked. The coyote had had enough playing around. He snapped up again, but the bird was too quick for him and moved out of the way. They struggled across the clearing until the yellow bird spotted a thorny vine lying in the dirt. He snatched it up, wound it tight around his claw, and with a swift strike cracked the coyote square on the nose. The beast yelped, a high-pitched sound, and bolted, crashing through the undergrowth until the noise faded and the forest quieted again. Mojo sagged against the nearest trunk, breath coming in hard pulls. His feathers were damp with sweat, his legs shaking. The yellow bird hopped lightly to the ground. He brushed off his feathers, straightened, and adjusted his glasses with a quick push. Mojo stepped out from behind the tree he'd been clutching, still dazed. Thanks. And you are?" "Name's Eli," the bird chirped in a voice that tumbled over itself, quick and without even being out of breath. Eli. 3 feathers up top, balance extraordinaire, faster than your eyes can follow, quicker than your mind can track. And you are?" "Mojo," he said slowly. "Mojo. Strong name. Flashy name. Perfect name. And what are you doing here, Mojo? Where are you going? Why alone? Dangerous forest. Coyote prowling. Shadows thick. And here you are, dancing like the whole world's a stage." Mojo drew himself up, eyes rolling, already annoyed at the flood of questions. I'm going to Pelican Beach City, he said, for the regional championship. I'll win there, then nationals. That's the plan. Eli's eyes widened behind his glasses. Nationals already? Shoo-in, guaranteed? No sweat at all? Then why bother with regionals? Silly formality, isn't it? Seems a long walk for a sure thing. Mojo bristled. Technically, I have to qualify. But it's in the bag. Everyone will see. Eli tilted his head, feathers bobbing. In the bag? In the bag? Careful, my friend. Sounds like someone's feathers are puffed a bit higher than the balance can hold. A little perspective never hurt. Mojo glared, beak tight. He huffed, wings flickering. And you? What are you doing out here? Traveling, Eli said brightly. Headed to Pebble Beach Coast Village. Circus is there. Big circus. Marvelous circus. They need balancing acts. And well, balance is what I do. Rope, vine, branch, even the head of a snarling coyote. You name it, I'll walk it. A laugh slipped from Mojo before he could stop it. Sharp. Too sharp. Eli froze, feathers stiffening. His eyes narrowed behind the glasses. What's so funny about that? Mojo winced, wings rising. Sorry. Really, I didn't mean. Just caught me off guard. Eli studied him for a moment, then sniffed and flicked his feathers. Fine. Apology accepted. But watch it. The silence stretched until Eli broke it with his quick rhythm again. Well, you're bound for Pelican Beach. I'm bound through it. Seems only sensible we travel together, eh? Two birds, safer than one. Coyotes, storms, shadows. Who knows what else? What do you say? Mojo hesitated. His feathers still prickled from the chase. His chest still ached from the run. He glanced at Eli, bright and restless, balancing even now on a root. Fine, he said at last. But don't slow me down. Slow you down? Ha ha! Eli laughed, hopping along the root, spinning once on one claw. I'll keep you moving, friend. You'll see. Mojo shook his head, still catching his breath, still wondering what he'd just agreed to. But he fell into step beside the chatter of the yellow and orange bird, the forest deepening as the path carried them both forward. Alright friends, that is the end of chapter 2. So I hope you guys are really enjoying the story. I'm having a lot of fun with this. I'm really starting to get into the voices of the characters and everything, and I'm trying to have to remember the sound of every voice and what they are and what they're doing and how they sound. And so it's a nice little challenge, right? For this being the second one that I've done and everything for the second story. But it's fun. I like it. I hope you guys are really enjoying this because I'm having a lot of fun doing it. I will say that as I'm watching the video, as I'm recording the story and everything, I've noticed how I'm getting this one done a lot faster than what I did on Jojo, and a lot of that just has to do with confidence, and it has to do with the confidence in just doing the diamond art painting, but also confidence in the multi-placing that you're seeing me do. There's a lot of very big block sections in here, and I think a lot of that has to contribute to how quickly I got through this painting, but also you'll see later on in the series where I got through even some of the kind of confetti sections a little bit easier as well. And I'm really starting to fine-tune what my process is with diamond painting, and I hope that you guys are figuring that out yourself as well. Put down in the comments down below, what do you feel like you learned the most from when you first started diamond painting to where you're at now? Or if you're just now diamond painting, where have you started? Where are you struggling? What help do you need? And let's talk through that. That is all we have for this today, everyone. So be sure to light a candle, pour a coffee, and let's keep crafting.